You guys got to interview Kirk Cousins on your podcast.
He followed us on Twitter, and so because of that, his DM was open.
Let's get sexy.
Sammy Adams came into town specifically to be part of one of the Cup Snakes Twins game a year ago.
We invested a lot of money we didn't have into this just for this like one Cup Snake idea.
My name is Journalist Jake, and this is the Golf Bell Hail Challenge.
Bill Guerin is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Somehow I have his number back from when we had him on our podcast, and I had texted him, hey, this Jack Eichel guy looks pretty good. You should try to sign him. And he texted back, already tried that, sober up.
Are you bringing it in today?
You bring it in every time. I don't know why you're changing it up today.
You should bring it in today.
I like when you bring it in. You do a good job.
I like that you guys just call it bringing it in.
That's a good
We
bit.
always just say who wants to do the intro. Bringing it in.
Bring it in. That's a good bit.
We're kind of
I think we're
hipsters around here.
I think we just brought it in.
I think we did just
Did
bring
we just
it in.
bring it in?
Sometimes it just happens.
That's a
we
good
got the
bit.
boys. We got the boys in here today. 10K takes. Jake and Jack. Do you guys ever get mixed up with each other?
Well, I got called Jake today by a place who I don't even think knows the brand. I was applying for a new apartment in St. Paul, and they were like, "Am I speaking to Jake?" I'm like, "Well, you're speaking to Jack." So,
Well,
Same thing.
We do introduce each other as Jake and Jack. Like, that's pretty easy, but I will say, like, you did introduce us with the correct name, 10K Takes, but we get a wide array of names just for our brand.
Really?
Oh, yeah. The popular one, like, a lot of people will call us 10K Takes, which is correct, 10,000 takes or whatever. But the most popular incorrect name that we get called all the time is 10 Takes. Just 10 takes.
We're just that bad. We got to do that many takes.
We're 10. Hey, you're 10 takes, right? Like my cousin has said that. How is the 10 takes podcast going for you? Even though we're more than just a one podcast.
Yep.
And then the 10 boys we got called at
10
the 3M
boys.
Open.
10 boys.
Oh, I love that.
That sounds like a pedophile ring.
I know. It just doesn't sound right.
Hey, the 10 boys are
I got a
here.
room with 10 boys.
Yeah.
Like, fucking A.
Because we're
Are you
called.
part of NAMBLA?
Yes,
Yeah,
no
goodness
shit.
gracious. Like Jeffrey Epstein shit is weird.
Yeah,
dude.
like we've been called the 10 guys. It's like, okay, well, there's more than 10 guys at the company, so we're proud of that. We've been called 10 lakes. I've been called 10 lakes. I'm like, well, I don't know where the fuck that came from.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I don't know where people see this. And then we also got called when we were golfing one time.
100K takes.
You guys are the 100K guys? 100K takes? And
it's not that hard. Do people ever call you like, oh, you're the On podcast, or like, the tap,
We're
the tap boys?
You guys are the tap boys. I watch the tap
I've
show
definitely
all the
got
time.
tap boys. Or,
Yeah.
It's usually
Tap
like,
boy.
oh, you guys do that thing. You guys do that.
Yeah, we
the,
get
the
that.
video thing. You know, like, yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah,
normal.
that's us. Yeah,
we
that's
get
funny.
that
You
crap
gotta-
all the time.
Right when you want to get mad about it, though, you got to be like, okay, someone knows what I do. That's cool in itself.
Yeah, it's like at least he saw something.
Exactly.
And you can always tell when people come up to you in person whether they're a true fan or if they saw a clip one time. Like, it's like, oh, that video. I love that video. It's like, which one?
Yeah.
There's plenty of them. We're on social media. Like, you got to elaborate for me, please.
Thousands. Well, boys, take us back. Take us back to the first video. How did you guys even start the page? How did 10K get its origin?
So, I had just graduated from UND. So yeah, I know you're a Sioux guy.
Fellow alum.
Was walking around, didn't really know like what I was doing. I hadn't even really applied for jobs yet. Came home, I started 2 failed startups in college in software, which is like complete opposite of what we do now. And I was at the state fair with some of my buddies, and I had never really wanted to get into media. I mean, I'd always gotten into I'd always done like video editing and kind of messed around with stuff like that. But I was like walking around the state fair, which I had gone to growing up all the time. And, I see Fox 9 there, K-Fan, and all these other outlets. And I'm like, I wonder why there's not anyone here who's just kind of shooting the shit and like swearing and being themselves and being, because I know like with a lot of the major outlets, there's so much regulation. They're owned by massive corporations. I'm like, there's not really anything like that in Minnesota. There's not, because I'd been a Minnesota sports fan growing up my whole life. I'm like, there's not really anyone out there just swearing and like drinking and telling it like it is the way, instead of, through like a traditional media sense. So I was like, and I'd been a big fan of Barstool. They're a massive, I would say, inspiration to us. So, but I know that they weren't really doing anything out here either. And I'm like, this area is so heavily underutilized because there's so many storylines that come out of this depressing ass sports market.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
So like I had this idea and I'm like, okay. I like asked around to some people like, hey, I'm thinking about starting almost kind of like a Barstool type thing in Minnesota. Like, would you be in? And a lot of people told me it was not going to work, too small of a market. Yada this, there's no success. I was just so addicted to the concept. I was like, I'm going to do it anyways. So I built a shitty Wix site, which was, like the free website builder. Yep. And it was ugly. And I think I used like a free logo maker. And somehow 10,000 takes was actually like one of 100 names I came up with and that we stuck with. But then I was like, I just wrote a few blogs just myself for the site. Like I think the first blog I published was Randy Dobnak looks like a guy who owns 10 plus motorcycles. Cause he had like the handlebar mustache. Yeah. And then there was like another article, like just stupid shit like that. And then Zane Wagner, who was my college roommate at UND, I know that him and Jake had done something similar in college where they did like a Minnesota media company. And I'm like, fuck, this idea is just so cool. I wonder if he would be down.
So I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's Wags, right?
Yeah, Wags. Yeah.
So shout out Wags.
Couldn't make it tonight.
I didn't know his name. We were talking about that. We're like the guy named Wags. Like what is?
I'm like,
his
dude,
name?
they're hockey players. They have nicknames, man. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah. Wags is very like that nickname is ancient. Like we've called them Wags. Mm-hmm. I grew up with playing like hockey and baseball. Yeah. Like that's just it. So a lot of people I think a lot of people know like our first names, but a lot of people like get the same reaction. Like who's Zane? Mm-hmm. Oh, that's Wags.
Yeah, I always forget. It's hard to call people by their nicknames when you were friends with them first.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
But then
you guys were doing something together, you and Wags.
Yeah, we did a little bit of stuff like in high school and then into college. Like I went to the U of M, so we were in different colleges, but we had started like a podcast and like nothing compared to what 10K has turned into, but we did like a podcast, did some stupid videos, prank video stuff, and tried to incorporate sports, but it didn't really take off. But we had that mindset, and I went to school for journalism, so I kind of was trying to always, weirdly enough, like I was like always. I remember I was thinking about honestly thinking like that Minnesota before, like you were thinking the same idea, but I think like right when I graduated, I'm furious about Minnesota sports and everything's way too serious. I just want to write I want to write like some blogs about like fucking ripping.
I want to offend somebody. Yeah, almost.
But I didn't go to the distance of Jack did of like creating a whole brand or anything. But I was thinking like I want to just have like a page or something. There should just be a page where we can just rage about this stuff.
You just put your own stuff, like your own spin. You're a normal guy's take on like everyday things that someone wouldn't normally have.
Right.
Exactly.
So from there.
Yeah. So I reached out to Zane. I was like, okay, I need more people to help with this if I want to grow it. And I know that he had done something similar and he was like instantly in. And he's like, hey, I know this guy named Jake that I grew up with. And like, fuck, I was like, bring him in, whatever. And boy, did I not even know at the time the kind of shit that us three were gonna do. So it was just us three. We were the Three Musketeers for the longest time, just writing on the site. We started a podcast called the Minnesota Rundown. I was in my parents' storage room, and like we were doing it through Skype, and it was terrible. And like Jake was in his parents' basement, so anytime he would want to like swear or say something inappropriate, he'd like lower his voice.
Yeah, I would. Yep. Right next to my bunk bed.
Yeah, I've heard he's with a porn star, and we're like, dude, fucking say the word porn star.
And the thing is, my parents wouldn't even care, but it was just still like awkward to do that.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh shit.
Yep.
And then I mean, like, not to just keep dragging on the beginning, but it was us three. We brought in, there were some other early people, and we expanded it to. The blog ended up picking up a lot more, and then we were doing more podcasts. We started partnerships with teams. We were doing merch, and next thing you know, now we're at like, I think 35 people who are involved in it. We do merch. We have 5 different podcasts. The blog is daily. It's a whole operation. Our merch is like a whole thing now.
Fuck, that's so cool, man.
Cool.
The way you guys push merch too is so impressive. You guys get on, something will happen in the Minnesota sports world, T-shirt out the next day. Like, that's the way you got to do it.
Yeah.
You have to have the limited sales. You got to get it out right away, and you guys kill that.
Well, and like I said, a lot of our inspiration is Barstool. Like we were all big Barstool fans growing up, and like let's be honest, if you're in any industry and you want to do something well, like look at the people who are doing it the best and try to emulate that. Obviously, don't copy them, but throw your own spin on it, and that's kind of what we've done. So whenever it's funny, whenever people are like, these guys are just wannabe Barstool guys. We're like, yeah, we are.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Of course, we want to be millionaires. I mean,
Yeah.
like,
It's just like if I go out in a beer league game and I score a goal and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking awesome, and someone's like, what? He's a wannabe Minnesota Wild player. You're like, I'm a big fan of the Wild. Of course, I want to play for the fucking
Yeah,
Wild.
no shit.
Right.
So it's just we're always looking at it kind of, and we got friends in there now, which is awesome. So we get a lot of advice from people in that company.
Yeah.
But,
So you guys, you have the three, you have you two and Wags. You guys are really getting going. Did you have people that were coming in and that just weren't working out?
Oh,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Since the beginning.
There's been some nightmare scenarios getting rid of people, and there's been some incidents and whatnot, which is going to happen. When you can't just like bring on 30 people and like everyone gets along and
100%.
and the whole there's always going to be hiccups and stuff. But it's like us three, and then Zooch is another one of our partners who came along early and helped fund it, and then Marlo is like the unsung hero of the company. He's the one who draws all the designs. He does a lot of the management of like the different podcasts. So it's like
nice.
People see us three a lot, but there's it's got an ass to it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot on the back end that people don't see that make it all happen.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
More than just a podcast, because people, will come up to us. How's the 10,000 Takes podcast?
How's the 10 Lakes podcast?
It's like, and that's great that you know about it, and like that's awesome. But we're more than that, and like you said, there's just a whole process on the back end that people don't realize, or how much work goes into it to keep the whole machine running, and keeping
while
content
trying
on
to
the
grow
daily.
it too. Like you have to keep up with everything, but you also have to improve on the fly. And I mean, you guys probably know the same thing. Like you have to put out an episode while trying to improve the show in the background, and that's not easy at all.
Yeah, and I think changing everything on the production side always creates more hiccups. Then it's like a new set of challenges. You solve this problem, you want better quality video. We were talking about this off camera, but like you want better quality video, and then all of a sudden you got to learn how to run this more expensive camera.
Yeah.
There's 20 more settings that you don't even know how to use.
Right.
So we 100% can, we feel your pain on that one. How did you guys get affiliated with KFan?
So they had known about us for a while. We had some of their people on our main show that you see us and Wags on. It's called It's a Bit. That's the main podcast. But we'd had quite a few of their guys on, and then eventually our buddy Eli, who was
He's another guy that's
he's a
fallen off.
fucking character. I mean, we're still friends with him now, but but anyway, so he was friends with like a sales guy at KFan, and they were going to start a Viking show under us, which is still a show, State of Skull, which is our Viking show. But he had been talking to the sales guy at KFan, and they were like, and the sales guy was like, well, our program director Chad Abbott has actually been meaning to talk to those guys for a while. So he set up the meeting, and we talked to Chad, and he was like, a lot of people talk about you guys in the office, and I've heard a lot of chatter, and radio is admittedly a dying industry, and we're trying to revitalize and get younger and whatnot. And he was like, I know that we have a massive audience that you guys would probably love to dive into. And he was like, let's just get a weekly show on the air. And we were like, fuck yeah, like this. That was a
dream.
It was a big break. But we also see, we always want to help out the people who are helping us. And yeah, like KFan is looking to go digital, and they're looking to get younger people in the door, which is what we can offer. So, while they've helped us out so much, we also have been we've been trying to help them, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know how much we actually have, but they somehow let us go on the air during Vikings pregame and do dumb shit, and still a miracle that Chad hangs on to us, but still gives us that slot somehow.
So what do you the sports media market's a pretty flooded game. Not as much in Minnesota, but just in general. What do you think you did different that got KFan's attention? Because in Minnesota, they are Minnesota sports.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know if it was just the content, being outside of the box, like we talk about, just being independent. I think there's just so many different pages in Minnesota that from the Wild, the Vikings, the Twins, the Timberwolves, and all these blogs that are trying to almost emulate KFan, try to be super serious. Everybody wants to be the podcast host. Everybody wants to be Dan Barrero.
They all want press passes.
They all want press passes. Like everybody wants to be like this spectacular journalist, which is great, but they all do it in an independent way. Like you should be trying to, if you want to go down that path, try to get in with the newspaper or something, or find a way. But there's always they're doing stuff that is already done by The Athletic or the Star Tribune or KFan, right?
Yeah.
In a serious way, it's being covered. And that's kind of been our message is like, let's do something that's different from that. So I think our videos have just been representing what the fan is actually feeling, the true sports fan and just individual in general. And it's just we're just being ourselves. We're not like, what can be like different here. And like, sometimes we think of like content that like, that'd be hilarious, but it's a lot of us just being ourselves, and we're filming us being idiots. And I think K-fans saw that we were maybe getting a following with that. And I know they have maybe an older audience that I think is generally listening to their shows, but they knew that they could probably get a lot of our younger following and a lot of younger people who feel represented by us, maybe, to kind of then, if we merge that partnership, they can bring them into K-Fan and we can kind of have a mutual partnership like that.
For sure.
Yeah,
I guess.
no,
that
that's
makes total
phenomenal answer.
Yeah.
So when you guys got affiliated with K-Fan, what doors did that open for you? Because I'm sure they have some access that you could have never even imagined.
Oh, yeah. No, we've gotten, like, Chad always hooks us up with tickets to stuff, which he knows we go to games, we make content that's kind of like our boots on the ground type stuff. So he's been really gracious with that. Obviously, all of the K-Fan guys support us. They come on our shows. PA has me on the air every now and then. Like, he'll just text me randomly on a Tuesday and be like, hey, you're coming on for the 9 o'clock segment. And I'm like, I'm at Target. He's like, don't care. You're getting a call. I like fucking take a call from in the Target parking lot. So it's really just the support of their network of talent. And like, that such good people that work there. Like, everyone who's on the air there is just the most normal people. So I think it's really just like networking is really what the benefit of that has been. And plus, it's credibility. Like, the fact that we can say we're on KFAN and that we have space means that, you know, brands and athletes and people that, you know, could help us out will want to help us out, because it's just another added, layer of credibility.
Well, and even for your friends and family being like, holy shit, they got a show on K-Fan now? Like, that had to just boost your morale in general.
Yeah, I mean, from the shitty website that I built first, you know, by myself, and all my friends and even people in my family were telling me, you know, that the idea probably didn't have many legs to that point, was like, okay, shit, so maybe I was right. Like, and I'm not like a shove it in your face kind of guy, but I mean, the whole time we were starting, when it was just me, you, and Zane, I mean, think about it. We started this in September of 2019. March 2020 hits, and that could have killed us.
Yeah.
But I don't even know why we kept going or how we stayed during COVID.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we didn't have anything by then, and then the whole world shut down. So, it's kind of a miracle we survived that point. But
I think that might have been your true test, though.
Yeah,
100%.
Because there were no sports going on. You had to just find shit to talk about.
Yeah, that's a good point. What were some of the bits that you came up with during lockdown? It's like,
well, we got into trick shotting. I think like everybody else, we got into
Trick shooting,
into trick shotting. We broke down Tiger King. I think.
Yeah, we broke down Tiger King. We also talked about if Joe Buck announced porn.
because
That was interesting.
Brazzers had offered him like $1.5 million to like live commentate pornography because they know he wasn't working. So we like talked about shit like that. Korean baseball was happening, so we're all big gamblers. So we're talking about like betting on Korean baseball.
Got into the Twins, and we would go up to the top of that parking ramp in right field and somehow watch a Twins game, and we videoed that whole experience. That was interesting. And then I think because of us, they shut that whole parking ramp down during Twins games.
Oh, really?
Damn, you guys making moves.
Well, that was probably the first time we had done something that like in the real world actually had implications, because so parking ramp B at Target Field, for those who don't know, it's like the top level of it. If you stand on a trash can, you can barely see over this little wall into like, I mean, you're in the nosebleeds still, but you can kind of see what's going on the field. So like we would go up there during COVID, and we would see people like with chairs, and people were grilling up there and drinking beers. And we were like, well, that sounds kind of fun. So we went and did that. We made some videos, and I think one of the videos did like really well on TikTok. Yeah. And apparently the next day, Minneapolis PD was sitting there waiting for people to show up. So
that sucks.
We kind of fucked it up for everybody. But yeah, I mean, just like really weird stuff like that we could go and do, we would just cover. And I guess people eventually liked it.
Yeah. So one of the bits that we're a big fan of is the cup snake. Mm-hmm. Where did this idea come up from, and where's the record at?
And if you could explain a cup snake, I guess I'm sure there's some people that don't know exactly what that is.
Yeah, I mean, the cup snake, otherwise known as the beer snake, is essentially where everybody that comes together as a community in the stands at a sporting event after drinking cups of beer, like, like the souvenir cups, or, not bottles. Obviously it doesn't work. And you come together and stack them together, and it eventually looks like a snake or resembles a snake.
Because
so
it starts to
snake.
wind
Yes.
after, you stack it, like the Leaning
Yes.
Tower of Pisa,
Yep.
but sideways. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I think this was an idea we had in like COVID, like to do when they would allow fans back. Like we have to do cup snakes. So I think we saw XFL doing it, the Washington Defenders doing it, even though it had been done before at like Wrigley, but they did a crazy one right before the XFL got canceled due to COVID. And we were talking about all through COVID.
Well,
like,
and it all goes back to how, like our deep internal rage on how the national media doesn't give Minnesota sports enough attention. We're like, I bet if we built fucking cup snakes, we'd get our teams on ESPN finally. Because, as a Minnesota sports fan, you wake up every morning wanting to watch SportsCenter and see them talk about the Twins or the Wild, the Vikings. You never fucking see it. So we're like, I bet if we at least did that, we could get our teams on ESPN. So it started as that idea.
Yeah, and because honestly, they're just talking about LeBron James and the SEC. Let's be honest, but yeah, we have to take it in our own hands. We felt like let's give us some recognition. So then we did like a Twins game, grassroots style. Just said whoever's going to show up, we're going to do.
We bought
a cup
out
snake.
like 50 tickets.
Yeah, we did not partner with the Twins at all or nothing, and we bought out like a whole section almost of 50 tickets, and people showed up, and we haven't even existed for 2 years yet as an entire organization or company.
We sold them to like friends, family, random followers on Twitter who could have just murdered us. Like we didn't know them at all, but we're like, hey, I see you follow the page. Like, do you want a ticket? $20 for Saturday's game? Like, we're gonna build a cup snake. So we had to get rid of all these tickets because we invested a lot of money we didn't have into this just for this like one cup snake idea.
Yeah, and then it just came together actually quite nicely at that Twins game against Houston. A lot of shit talking was happening against Houston, by the way. That was fun. And it came together fantastic, but great. I mean, it was amazing, but I think then security shut it down because apparently people were like trying to chuck like cups over at our section to contribute, and it was just hitting people. So then they just shut it down, which sucks. Like, you guys take it down, but it was super fun, and then it kind of just snowballed from there into with the Wild a couple times, and then the Saints, and then I know we were talking about before the show, like Sammy Adams came in the town specifically to be part of one of the cup snakes in the Twins game a year ago.
Yeah, so I want to talk about that specific cup snake because you guys partnered with the Twins for that one, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
They helped us. Yeah.
So Sammy Adams reached out to you guys, or you reached out to him?
So he had followed us for a little. I remember
Holy
he
shit.
followed us on Twitter after something we did. And he had always liked some of our tweets, and I was like, I'm going to shoot him a DM and see if he wants to come on the pod. Because, like at UND, welcome weekend, my freshman year, your sophomore year.
He was there.
He played at the
performed,
Union. Yeah, and he fucking killed it. So I had always been a big fan of his. And I remember DMing him randomly being like, hey, man, we have this show. It's a bit. We've had these athletes on, like some local people, Minnesota sports. Like, would you ever want to come on? He was like, absolutely. I fucking love you guys. We're like, okay. So he came on the show. And I think he brought up cup snakes, and we're like, well, why don't you just fly here for the next one? And he was like, brother, you tell me the time and the place, I'll fucking be there.
That is badass.
So I picked him up from the airport. He hung out at our house.
God, that's so
crazy.
fucking cool, dude. I'm
Yeah.
fanboy.
I'm a
Yeah.
huge
Yeah.
fan
Awesome.
of Sammy Adams.
He was supposed to stay at our house, but he ended up in some random apartment. I don't even know if he knew where he was.
Well, and
Dude, you want to hear the craziest thing about that guy?
Oh, fuck yeah.
So he gets like paid by clubs to just hang out because
Yeah.
he's famous.
Just
and
be there.
And like he'll go up and like sing a few songs because he knows people like it. But he was in Chicago the night before at some club, like just hanging out. I think he like performed a few songs, whatever. And then he went to bed at like 3 a.m. He had to get up at 5 to fly to Minnie. I picked him up at the airport. He came over. He was drinking and everything. And then, we drank all day at the Twins game. He was fucking shit-faced. We went to Ty's nightclub. He went there. It was super cool. He was singing all night longer. He was wearing a 10K hat. So
that's
that was like an all-time moment for us. Showed back up my house at like 7 a.m. to get to his 8 a.m. flight. He literally is like, he daps us up, gives us hugs, and he just literally, as he's walking out of our house, he just goes, well, time to suck today's dick, and then he just left. And I was like,
That's a line.
this guy has slept 6 hours in the last 4 days, and he's in his 30s, and I'm in my mid-20s, and I bitch about not getting 8 hours a night. I'm like, this guy's a fucking animal.
He's literally the party guy. Well, what happened at the game too was I think he was one of the people that just got kicked out.
Yeah,
too.
he got kicked out.
He got kicked out. Like there was a group of people. Like I was actually surprisingly, me and you and Wags, we were like the final 4 remaining. It was like me, like you guys and a couple other people. People were getting kicked out in droves because like people were like yelling shit.
Oh, they were throwing cups below. It got a little like anarchy, like you know how
mob mentality.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
It was great.
Things start organized, but over time, the cup snakes just kind of became a disaster. So
So talk me through the night before Sammy Adams comes. Are you guys like, oh, we got to get the house ready for him. We got to get drinks in here. Like, were you guys nervous for him to
not
come? Or were you
really.
just-
We had him on the show a few times, so we were already on like a buddy
Yeah.
basis. I mean, like I have his number, so we text like all the time. So we were texting about like it was just like a friend. Like I was just picking up a friend from the airport.
That's sweet. That's
we
really
already
good.
had that vibe with him. But yeah, it was kind of weird because I think I was golfing that morning with my dad, and I knew he was coming over, obviously, but I didn't put 2 and 2 together that he's actually coming over to our house. Sammy Adams, you know, like you heard his music all over clubs and parties growing up and everything. I walk in the house, I remember after golf, and they're like, dude, this is Sammy. I'm like, he's like, dude, what's up, bro? I'm like, dude, this is insane that he's just in our house.
That's crazy.
I gave him one of our 10K hats like right when he like got in my truck, and he literally took the hat off that he had on and like threw it away and put the 10K hat on.
That's badass.
He didn't take it off the whole weekend. So I was like, this is just one of my buddies now. Like
That's
this
awesome.
is the guy.
Well, and
That
you
is so
guys
cool.
as Stoolies, I'm sure you know he's part of the reason Dave gives him an insane amount of credit for blowing them up at the blackout parties.
Yeah,
Those blackout tours,
and
yes.
those were the kind of concerts that he played at UND. That's how I got to be such a big fan of his. And so when I saw he followed us, I was like, I'm gonna try to make a connection with this guy because I was a fan of him. Long before then.
Yeah, I can't imagine college without Sammy Adams.
Right.
I mean, the fun college universe doesn't exist without Sammy Adams.
And for those who are listening who don't know who we're talking about, like you've heard him before, whether you know it or not. Like All Night Longer. I think if you go to any bar on a weekend, it's about a 99% chance that they're gonna play it at some point.
Oh,
Yeah,
for sure.
still do.
It's a platinum song. Like
It always gets the crowd going. Everybody knows the words. Like you said, whether you know Sammy Adams made the song or not, you know the words.
you know
All
the
Night
words.
Long.
Yeah.
His
Or you've heard
I
it
Love
before.
College remix, his I Hate College remix.
Yep.
Dude, so good.
Yeah.
Electric.
Yeah.
So, with some of these cup snakes, I saw that you guys had claimed to get the world record. Is there a world record actually set? Like, is there a number that you can put on a cup snake?
So there was a cricket match in Australia in like the 90s that they claim was 300 meters, but it's not official. Like no one actually measured it. It was like eyewitness accounts. So we saw that and we were like, okay, we have to like try to set a number and actually measure it. So the one we did at the Wild was 270.
Was it like 273 or something like that?
273 feet. And the Wild actually measured it and verified that it was like that long. So Wikipedia was like, that's the longest one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And,
So you unofficially have the world's longest cup snake.
We officially have it. I think unofficially the Aussies from the 90s still have us beat if 300 meters. Because if you think about 300 meters, that's like, what, 900 feet?
Yep. They didn't, and I don't think we looked into it
There's
pretty
pictures
heavily.
of
I mean,
it.
I
It's
don't,
fucking massive.
but I don't think it was officially measured. We officially measured ours with the tape measure and everything with the Wild like people there and staff, and we got it measured. And then, but there was those fuckers at the Colorado Mammoth.
Yeah, the lacrosse team. Those
Yeah, but they didn't even like drink out of the cups. They just brought a bunch of cups, empty cups, and just made a snake. I'm like, that's cheating.
Half of the battle right
Yeah.
there. This is like a trophy. This is
Yeah.
like, hey, we're not only putting together this cup snake, we're not organizing to build this structure. We've paid and drank.
Yeah, we paid
the
a lot.
entire
It's
structure.
an investment.
Well, I
These
said
fuckers took them right out of the box.
Fucking bet, dude. $16 a beer, whatever it is.
I said it was a grassroots effort near the end. I think we were trying because we were like very close to getting an official measurement. The game was almost over, and I remember like me and a few other people were running up and down the sections like empty cups. And I'm just running up and down the sections, just hammered.
Meanwhile, the Wild are fist pounding the Coyotes
Yeah.
like 6-1.
And some people were just very
It's like,
irritated.
come on, you don't want to watch this game anymore.
Yeah,
like,
come on,
you
guys.
never wanted to watch this game. Like that's why we're doing this here, because we know this is the Wild versus the 2021
Yeah.
Coyotes.
So
But
do you
the
guys?
looks.
I assume you know who T-shirt guy is at the Wild games. T-shirt guy, love this guy. He's the fucking best.
the guy-
T-shirt guy travels around the country.
Really, he's
Funny
not
story.
just a Wild guy.
We've seen him at Knights games.
Was he the guy
What?
that was the
So he
notorious video with the Kevin Garnett?
No. This guy dances and he takes off a shirt and then
Yeah,
he
that's the
dances
Kevin
more.
Garnett guy.
Same guy.
I think that's the
no.
same guy that
I
danced
know
with Kevin
exactly
Garnett.
who you're talking about. Super famous clip. He did it when KG was like an OG Timberwolves
Yeah.
player, and then when he came back, he did it again.
Did it again. Is that the same guy?
This is a different guy.
He looks like him,
that
though.
He wears like a shit ton of shirts.
Yeah.
And then he'll just take them off, whip them
Right.
around, throw them to somebody, and then he'll like keep going up and down the stands.
Yep.
Well, there was a clip, I think it was either last year or 2 years ago, where someone's like, I'm a teacher, throw me a shirt. And he's like, I don't give a fuck if you're a
he
teacher.
gets pissed.
You know what? Have you seen that clip? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't, but I've seen videos of him on the Jumbotron at the Wild game, like pushing drunk people out of the way.
Oh, dude.
He has a strategy.
He's a true showman. Like
Dude,
he doesn't
he
let anyone get in the
fucking-
way of it.
He has a mission.
So he tells his teacher, he's like, I don't give a fuck that you're a teacher. He's yelling at her. I was 5 seats away from him, dude. And then I see the clip go viral. I'm like, fuck, man, I missed out on this. I could have taken the same video. It got like multiple millions of views.
Oh,
I gotta start wearing t-shirts. Dude.
Yeah.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, but
You just don't wear anything when you go.
I swear to
I-
God,
dude,
dude, that'd get some views.
Hey,
I thought
tarps
that-
off.
I thought
Tarps
that
off's been
guy-
a great bit though.
I did genuinely think that guy was like genuinely just a Wild fan. And then we were at the Knights game. We go to Vegas every year for the first round of March Madness. We usually try to hit a Knights game on St. Patty's Day, that Thursday. And I saw him like on the screen doing the church thing, and I'm like, this guy's a whore. He's not even our fucking guy.
Yeah.
Nope.
I felt offended. I'm like,
Does he
I
do
thought
it
that would hurt me.
I thought this guy was like our thing, and like, no, he gets paid to just go to sports games and rip shirts off. So I lost some respect for him after that. But
He's a sellout.
That was like when we found out War of the Roses was fake. I'm sure you guys know what War of the Roses is, KDWB. We found out that was fake. That fucking broke my heart, man.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get over that. That was a big deal to me.
We have a friend that's an actor, and he told us that he was hired to act on War of the Roses,
yeah.
and that basically everyone is set up. We're like, I missed
No.
school for this
Like
in the
an
mornings
inside
before.
job.
Yeah, it was kind of bullshit, honestly.
Kills me, man.
Yeah, when we see that guy, but we had a feud with Nordy though. This
You
Really?
You had
Oh,
a
yeah.
feud with Nordy.
I had a feud with
Me and
Nordy.
Nordy have always been buddies.
Well, this-
actually, he beat me in the Paralympic sled race at the Hendrickson Foundation.
he did.
thing.
So you should
That's
have a feud
that's
with
a
him.
different story. But you had a feud with.
Well, I
Nordy.
had a feud with Nordy because, I mean, this dates back almost a year because, preseason's coming up again. This started in the preseason when we went to games and got after it in preseason Wild games. I mean, we were like, this is hockey. We actually self-declared the Wild their preseason champions of the
Yep,
NHL.
yep.
That's what we said.
Stanley Cup champions of the preseason.
Preseason champs. But I was just a little upset at one of the preseason games. I might have been, had a couple of drinks at the time. Might have, allegedly. But Nordy was tossing T-shirts, in our section, and he didn't give me a damn shirt. I'm like, Nordy, I want a shirt. Like, I want a damn T-shirt. Give me a shirt. And he just totally ignored me, didn't give me a damn shirt. And the whole season, every time we went to a game up until January, I was saying, I want a damn shirt. We were posting videos on it. I want a damn T-shirt from Nordy. And then finally in January, he comes down to our section. I don't know why we knew where we were sitting. He comes straight down to our section, hands me a shirt that's taped that says, to Kirk Cousins, love Nordy.
Love you, Nordy.
Love you, Nordy.
You guys,
I'm
hug, you guys,
thank you.
you guys hugged it.
We
out.
hugged it out, gave a high five. I'm like, I no longer have a feud with Nordy until I think the playoffs happened, and he was handing out some other merch, and I'm like, he didn't give me that. I'm like,
Nordy,
I'm real
what the
pissed
fuck,
off.
man? We're buddies
That's
now.
the essence
We're
of our
buddies, come
brand.
on.
That's the essence of our brand. You were in a feud with a guy who dresses in a costume who's there to amuse children.
Amuse children. I'm sitting there
and
pissed off.
you're like, fuck this guy. He doesn't give me a 27-year-old with a full-time job a free T-shirt that probably won't even fit me.
I've been paying to go to games since I was a kid. I want a damn shirt. I never got a shirt as a kid.
basically
want
own
a
a
shirt.
piece of this team.
I own you, So, but I did get the shirt. The feud is mostly dead with Nordy, but
Beef is
we made up.
squashed.
But there was beef there with Nordy.
Until there's more
Fucking
t-shirts
Nordy,
getting given
dude.
out.
There will be more.
This year you have to convince him to let you beat the drum. The do do. Let's
Oh,
go
that'd be sweet.
wild.
And if he doesn't,
He's not going to, though. He doesn't let anyone else do it.
he better, or else we're gonna have another feud.
Oh, no.
And the only way to make up for that is not a
You gotta-
damn T-shirt. It's legitimately letting me bang the drum.
You got to be like, I have a fucking drum set at home, bro. Like
I play drums in front of Bill Guerin.
I have percussion lessons.
Yeah, have you guys seen that video of I was playing the drums in front of Bill Guerin?
No.
No, I'd love to hear about it.
Well, we had him. It was the first time we had him on the podcast in our studio, and he goes upstairs. We kind of lose him. Like, where is he? All of a sudden, he's like, "Whose fucking drum set is this?" "Oh, it's mine." "Get on the fucking drums. I want to hear you play something." Like, he was just like adamant. I'm like, "Yeah, sir," you know. And I get on there.
You made the mistake before of saying, "Are you sure it's loud?" And he just stared at you. He goes, I know it's fucking loud. It's a drum set." Like he was offended that you warned him that your drums are loud.
It's this video. I know, and I'm like, "Oh, sure." I'm like scared. "Okay, yes, sir," right away. And like, it's if you go on our TikTok at 10K Takes, it's a pinned video, and he's just staring at me. Has no
I'll just pull it up.
Yeah,
so these guys can at least react.
Yeah,
to it.
he has nothing on his face, no reaction, and I start playing, and he's like, "That's it." When I was done, and so yeah,
How did that feel?
that was incredible, but
Just stared right at you.
Sitting there.
it was very scary. He says, "That's it."
Goes, "That it?"
Hands in his pockets. He looks very unamused.
But like that's what I'm saying is I have the experience of, and Bill has seen it. I'm gonna text Bill. I should just text Bill.
Just text him right now.
Can I bang the drum this year at the game? Like, can you just tell Nordy to not do it? Can I do it like during one period or something like that? We'll see.
He's gonna be like, "Leave me alone. We're 18 mil in the fucking
me
hole.
alone.
I don't have time for you."
There's some shit that he gets so mad at us about. Like, he has so much other stuff to deal with, and he's just dealing with us.
If you guys want to hear the story, Jake, tell them about when we were in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this. So I have Bill's number somehow, and we're
So I'm sorry, just for the people listening that
Yeah.
don't know, Bill Guerin is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
yes.
So
Head honcho.
to people like us, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
we
he's
love
a
the
hockey Hall of Famer too. He's a legend in the NHL. He's won 2 cups as a player, one as a general manager, at least an assistant GM.
Two as assistant
Two
GM
as an
with,
assistant GM with
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Yes,
And he's just a cool fucking dude.
great
Yeah,
guy.
yeah.
And then, so like for people that are listening that don't like know hockey, like this guy, like he's the head guy. The Wild makes all the moves, the trades, everything like that. So he's a big deal in our community as well because he's different than a lot of our general managers that we brought in. But anyway, so somehow I have his number back from when we had him on our podcast the first time, and we're down in Vegas. We went to a Las Vegas Golden Knights game, and I'm wearing a Zach Parise jersey. That's the only Wild jersey I have. But I'm going there to a hockey game. I'm like, I'm going to wear my jersey. You know, screw it. They're not even playing the Wild. The Golden Knights are playing the Calgary Flames, and I think it started when I stood up, and I actually felt awkward. I don't normally feel awkward doing it, but I stood up and did a "Let's Get Sexy" chant, wearing a Minnesota Wild Zach Parise jersey at a Las Vegas Golden Knights Calgary Flames game, and he immediately texted me, "Take that jersey off," like blah blah blah.
So yeah, if you don't know, Bill bought out. Zach Parise was one of the players he bought out. A previous GM signed Parise to a very shitty contract, and Bill got rid of him and another player, and wanted to like rebuild the culture of the team. So this was a player that he had bought out and shipped off the team.
Yeah, Parise, and like we're
And
still
Jake's
paying
wearing
off their contracts.
Jake's wearing his jersey
in Vegas. They're not even playing the Wild. And then I think the conversation kind of like just went on from there. And eventually I said, because Jack Eichel plays for Vegas, and I had texted him, "Hey, this Jack Eichel guy looks pretty good. You should try to sign him." And he texted back, "Already tried that. Sober up."
Sober up.
He just said sober up. He just knew we were fucking. I'm like, "How do you know I'm plastered?" And even though we were allegedly, I mean, we were at a hockey game,
long
and
day.
it was in Vegas. So
Sober up.
but there's been multiple like just conversations where I just know I'll send him stupid shit, and he'll just be like rolling his eyes, like, "Why the hell am I?"
But he always
doing
responds
these
to you.
guys?
He always writes you back.
I think he's entertained by it. I think he comes off where he doesn't like dealing with us sometimes, but I think he secretly likes it. Well, we went to that. They had that crazy game of hockey in July at Tria where it was like a charity thing. They brought in some people from Barstool Chief. We got to know pretty well when he came up here, and just a lot of former Wild players. I think like Pierre-Marc Bouchard was playing in that
badass.
and everything. Like old Mike Madonna was playing in. It was a charity hockey game and everything. And we go there at Tria, running the bill almost immediately. And I'm going back to the Vegas thing quick. I actually mentioned, okay, like when he was criticizing my jersey, I'm like, okay, buy me a new jersey because I just bought this 2 or 3 years ago, not knowing Prezi was going to be bought out.
$225.
They're
Like,
not cheap.
It's a nice get a new jersey.
It's a nice green home jersey. It's one of the new era ones. I'm not just going to get a new one. I told him that. And he's like, okay, I'm buying you a new jersey. Or I said, are you going to buy me a new jersey? He's like, yeah, I will. And so we run into him at the crazy game of hockey in July, this past July, and he points at me and he's like, we're talking already for a couple minutes, and he's like, I got to get you a new jersey. You need a new jersey. I still got to get you one. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And I don't know if my eyes just got big. And he's like, don't fucking look at me with those crazy eyes. Don't fucking do that. Like, and we're like, dude, what? He was just like almost scared of what like the stare I was giving at him. So it was interesting.
But then later in the game, we're sitting right behind the net of Nicholas Backstrom. So Nicholas Backstrom's playing. So we're sitting right behind him at Tria, and we were like, okay, well, in classic 10K fashion, let's drink a ton and just see what kind of viral content we can get out of this. So we started stacking all the beers we were drinking as a pyramid. And Bill texts him from like the GM box, which is in the middle of the stadium, and he goes, I think I could see him like taking a picture of it.
He totally was.
And he texted you, he's like, good start to that pyramid. And Jake was like, oh yeah, are you gonna help contribute to it? He goes, you want to come up here? Sure. So we walk past security and he meets us. Yeah, these guys are with me. We walk upstairs and here we're in the GM box with Judd Brackett, who's the head of.
So sweet.
He's the head of scouting. Big deal in the Wild. If you know Judd, you let Judd cook. He does a lot of great work at the draft. And then there's all the assistant coaches. I think Brett McLean was up there. I think Bob Woods was up there for a little bit. Just all the big wigs of the Wild, right?
Yep.
And so we're just hanging with Bill, just kind of chatting it up, whatever. And I don't remember how it came up, but we always tell him that we need to bring back crowd chant. Because
he hates that.
Crowd chant was the original goal song of the Wild for years. It's what we grew up on.
Like, I'll do a brief, if people will recognize it. Oh.
It's all electric guitar, and the fans get into it. But
I know exactly what you're talking about.
2 years back, they changed it to shout. You make me want to shout.
Way worse.
Yeah, way worse is a goal song. I always tell him to his face, I'm like, great wedding song, terrible goal song. So every time we see him, we have to bring it up. So I think Jake brought it up, and he's like, would you guys fucking stop with this crowd chant? We're not bringing back crowd chant. And he's like, what did he say? He goes, isn't there another team that has it? And I go, well, yeah, the Islanders have it. And he's like, oh, yeah. I go, well, they don't fucking play it a lot because they don't score a ton of goals. And I could hear laughing throughout the box. And I'm like, I just made a ton of executives in the NHL laugh at a chirp on the Islanders. Like, all right, I've done my job today. So it's just, I don't know. And people are taking pictures of us. They're like, how did you guys get up there? We're like, I don't know.
We did not belong up there at all. We walk up there and it's us.
You see all the big wigs of the Wild, all the scouts and everything, and then it's just like us in our shitty T-shirts.
I mean, it's just funny because if people are asking and they go on social media, they see us, jumping in the snow or a guy impersonating Kirk Cousins or something. It doesn't make any sense. But we were up there talking with Bill Guerin and Liam was up there as his son, who's awesome, and just some high executives who are trying to make this a Stanley Cup winning team. And it's just us up there, and we're just okay,
just drunk, just hammering the free waters they have up there because it's noon on a Saturday and half of us drove there. So it's
we were already a few drinks deep, so we're like, we're gonna use this. Take this to our advantage and sober up a little bit.
Zuch and Zane just how do you start this coffee machine? I'm like, okay, guys, relax on the coffee.
Yeah, they were upset that the coffee machine. Guys, we're up here right now looking in this press box.
People down there are paying $10 for a shitty cup of coffee, and you're bitching that the Keurig up here doesn't have the cup that you requested. Oh man, let's remember we're common folk that are living a glorious life right now.
Yeah, we're in this executive box at Tria.
100%.
Don't deserve to be up there, but it was a fantastic time. It was awesome.
So, I mean, speaking of executives, you guys had the pleasure of speaking with one of the most executive Minnesota sportsmen of all time, Kirk Cousins himself.
Oh, gosh.
But before we get into that, I need to go to the bathroom. We got to restock on beers. Should we take
There
a
you
little
go.
bathroom break?
There you go.
Absolutely.
I could piss as well.
All right,
so
we'll be right back.
Cut to commercial.
Hey, bitches.
You need a new bitchin' hat?
Head on over to the description of this video and click the link for twistedbitchcattlecompany.com. Use code ONTAP10 for 10% off your next order to get yourself one of these bitchin' hats.
Don't be a bitch.
The boys are recharged. We're restocked.
Oh yeah.
Tanks are empty. Beers are full. You guys got to interview Kirk Cousins on your podcast. How did you... I mean, I want to hear from square one, getting in contact with him, up to scheduling the interview, up to, I mean, everything. Let's hear it.
It's all you, buddy.
Yeah, it was. I still can't believe it. Well, so I think it goes back to just starting a drunken, not drunken. I shouldn't say that because I wasn't drunk. Hungover impersonation of Kirk Cousins in my car on our way to our old Prior Lake studio. Just trying to impersonate Kirk Cousins and talking like him in a way that he wouldn't actually say, using swear words like damn and fuck
That
and
shit
kick
got me
ass.
cracking up, dude.
We'd always put beers in front of him too, and he'd be like, "Fuck this" and "fuck that."
Yeah.
Zimmer told me to hang myself. Like,
Yeah, it just I'd have like a belt, like I have a noose here. I don't belt shaped like a noose. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this.
Coach
but,
gave it to me.
I don't know, but we'll figure it. But yeah, it just escalated, and that kind of stuff just started a whole Kirk Cousins bit within the brand, and that during like the COVID season, fans can't be at the game, so we had to be really creative on what we're doing. And then in 2021, I think it was the day after Christmas, they were playing the Rams at a home game, and we lost by 10 or whatever. But we decided for whatever reason that I'd show up with a sign that said, "I am Kirk Cousins." I am Kirk. It's just really shitty marker on a poster board. It looked like a 4-year-old, it was like a poster project. And I went there with Wags, and I lifted it up. We were sitting pretty lower level behind one of the end zones and probably 10, 15 rows up. And I would raise it every so often, the sign, to see if people would know. And at one point, actually, I had the wrong side of the sign. I actually butchered it one side. And it was just half of "I am Kirk." And so I'm
Then
like,
you
oh,
realize
shit.
it's like the classic, you run out of spacing and you're like, oh, there's no way I'm going to fit all these words in it.
So I'm like, oh shit, like this is but when I was making it, I'm like, this is the only poster board I bought today, and there's nothing open. This is, I got home from all the family Christmases at like midnight before the game. I'm like, I only have one more side to figure this out, and I did. So flash forward back to the game, I'm lifting it up, have it on the right side, and I'm like, I don't even know if anyone's watching this. I feel like such a dumbass. People are looking behind, like, what the fuck's going on here? I am Kirk Cousins, okay, whatever. And then we see it like halftime. They put it up on like this U.S. Bank Stadium snapshots thing.
They do like the featured photos, of like of fans like doing stuff.
Well, they showed like player, and then me. I am Kirk Cousins. Like, what is going on here? And that kind of took off, and on social media, and like honestly, I didn't think it would get that much traction. I'm like, it just, I don't know.
Really quick, I got to interject. So the funny thing is, if you're at a game, you're in the environment, you're drinking, like you're posting stuff, but you're not really doing anything else. I was actually at home. I had COVID the first round. It fucking kicked my ass. I'm sitting there on the couch dying, but I remember telling them before they left, I'm like, I'll be tweeting stuff out. I'll be covering. You guys go have fun at the game, do whatever. So like I was kind of seeing this from like a sober perspective. And I remember just, I'm always on our Twitter. I just see like tweet at us, like tagging us and stuff. And it's the photo of him because people saw him on the big screen. Like, that's the guy from like Twitter. That's like 10K takes. So they were taking pictures of it. And then, so like I was kind of like managing it behind the scenes while these guys were just out.
That's hilarious.
So
doing it.
yeah, we had no idea that was happening. Like I knew like we looked on Twitter, like, oh, it's doing well, like within our followers, but I had no idea that was happening from our end because service isn't that great. We're not looking at or social media a lot. We're watching the game. We're like, okay, whatever. And then I think after that, the day after, the night after, we're like sitting in the 10K house, and I think you, Jack, alerted like, holy shit, Kirk Cousins just retweeted the photo. He said, saw this at the game, incredible, and I can just hear his voice. But he said on the tweet, saw this at the game, and I flashed back to the game where, behind one of the end zones we were at, and the Vikings were down by 7 or 10 at the point.
It was a tight game against the Cardinals,
the Rams,
or the Rams,
and we ended up winning the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
And I swear, like I was just being delusional. Probably, I had a few drinks too. I swear I saw Brian O'Neill look up. They were in the huddle, like it was in between breaks as a media timeout. They're not in the huddle fully. They're all kind of huddled around though. They're looking around.
Chilling.
They're just chilling. And I swear I saw Brian O'Neill look back. And then I swear I saw maybe Kirk look over too. But I'm like Wags. I turned to Wags. I'm like, I think they just saw it. But I'm like, nah, dude, I'm just being delusional in my head. Like, I want them to see it, so I think I want them to have looked at it.
You were like that little kid who's like, Mommy, he looked at me. He's like, shut up, Timmy. He didn't fucking look at you.
Like, they're down by 10.
There's 80,000 people in here.
It looks like a blur to them looking in the stands. It turns out they fucking saw it. And Kirk said he talked, and like, I'll get to this in a moment, but like, they turns out they saw it. Kirk retweeted it. And we just started, he followed us on Twitter. And so because of that, his DM was open.
Well, and then the Vikings followed us on Twitter after that too.
Yeah,
like that was crazy. You guys were out at the bar and I was on Twitter, and I remember I texted the group and I was like, holy shit, Kirk just followed us on Twitter too. Which was like, because we, like during games you see like, oh, this person and 23 others followed you, and you always like, oh, cool, I get more fans. But like I see the check mark that says Kirk Cousins. I click on the profile. I was like, Jesus Christ!
What?
Like that's
badass.
He just did it. So like we didn't really interact with him for a little while.
No, we didn't. And well, speaking of really quick, that night at the bar, we were at the bar. I mean, they didn't win, but I think that was the night where the video surfaced of me just engulfing like a fucking fish in water, just like a whole thing of Tito's vodka. Someone was pouring it down my
You were in like
throat.
a bottle service area.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know. I ended up there. We knew somebody there that had bottle service. So, of course, we just walked. We didn't know they were having bottle service. We just go in there and like, here, I'm going to fucking pour this Tito's down your throat. I thought he was just going to give me a little shot, but I'm just sitting there just like a fish, just taking in water. And that was brutal. But yeah, so that's a little side story, but that was funny. That was that day, not knowing what was happening on the back end with social media. But then Kirk followed us, everything, and we eventually reached out and we just said, hey, like we were talking, like we have DMs open with him now. Let's just send a DM. I don't know if he reads it or whatnot.
I could actually just read the conversation.
Yeah, but we eventually just reached out to him.
That is so
yeah,
cool.
We reached out to him.
You see him follow you, you're like, oh shit, like this is unreal.
I didn't believe it.
The first thing
I
we
didn't
said
believe
is
it.
like, everyone play it fucking cool. No one message him and do something dumb.
Because we have like 5 or 6 people under, like about 5 people beyond, or like 5 people, including me and Jack, that have access to the main account, and everybody was freaking out, texting our group chat, like, guys, no one fucking send anything drunk.
Right,
don't do anything.
right.
I think you sent me an explicit text, like, don't send anything, because like I'm like, oh shit,
You're just shit-faced at the bar.
'Cause I love
I
Kirk
just see him
Cousins.
drink enough vodka to kill like a fully grown horse. I'm like,
Like, I don't
don't
wanna be
fucking
sending
ruin
shit.
this right after.
Hey,
it just
Kirk,
happened.
I know, but I remember seeing it, and
Hey,
I'm
I'm
like,
the guy.
I don't know, I was freaking out,
Do you
showing
want to be
Wags.
friends?
But I was sober enough to like, I mean, I could have been blackout, and I wouldn't have known to be like, okay, let's not ruin this.
Right.
Like, we had the quarterback of the Vikings. I've been a fan of him since like 2011 when he beat Wisconsin on a Hail Mary at Michigan State. Like, I'm not fucking ruining this shit.
Right.
So.
No,
But yeah.
so we DM. So it was like a month later, right? Like we let like it's almost like when you meet a hot chick and you're
you
like,
let it
all right,
sit.
Yeah,
Let
like
it sizzle a little bit.
play it
you know.
cool. Like, yeah, I don't need you. Like, let's reach out.
Hard
to
to
you.
get, hard to get.
Yeah,
on,
like
you know?
yeah, I basically like fake it till you make it kind of thing. So a month later goes by, and I'm like, guys, I think it's time to like reach out to Kirk and see if he wants to come on the show. Like, why not?
Did you just wake up that day and you're like,
Yeah, it
it's
was like
Kirk
It was
Day.
time. It was 4 weeks. Yeah.
It feels right to just go for it. It's been about a month, whatever. So we all kind of huddled together. We came up with a message. We shot it to him, and I think we didn't hear back for like a couple days. And
Oh, that had to kill.
yeah, we had
Well,
already.
I know how it is, man.
too.
Right.
Like messaging you, like, oh, they'll reply. They follow us. They'll get it.
That's like networking, right? You're like, sometimes people are just gonna like big time you, and that's fine. Like that's the way the world works.
Yeah.
But so anyway, so like we reach out about the podcast, and then 2 days later we see like his name pop up on our phone, and it says like, let us get back, or like we want to do this. Like we'll follow up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, or like if you don't hear from us, follow up, or we'll follow up with you, etc.
So this was right when he was in the middle of his contract discussions
Yeah.
back in 2022, early 2022
Yes.
in the off season.
Yep.
Because we waited till the season was over or whatever. And then so like randomly on a Sunday, like 2 weeks later, we get a message from him, which for those who don't know, his wife, Julie, who's an absolute angel, she runs all of his social media. So, this is like her messaging us. And
Through Kirk, I mean, obviously, like,
if you ever watch Quarterback on Netflix, you'd be introduced to her. She's the best woman ever. And I'll get into why she is. But anyway, so we get a message from Kirk's account, and it says, like, can you do it tomorrow at like 7 or it was, can you do it Tuesday at like 6 or no, they messaged me at
on
like
a Monday
at like 5 a.m. and said, can we do it today? And we were like, oh yeah, sure. I wonder why. And like 9 a.m. the news breaks. Kirk's re-signed a 1-year, $45 million extension with the Vikings. And we were like, there was a point where I texted everyone. I'm like, are we about to be the first fucking people to interview him after he just re-signed?
Dude, that's game breaking.
That is so cool.
So sure enough, that night, so by the way, so why Julie is so awesome, so she was messaging us, and I was like, what kind of stuff should we ask him? She sent me like paragraphs, like, he gets really embarrassed about this, ask him about that, like he's an absolute dad, so he loves talking about this, so ask him about that. So she was so helpful on coordinating the whole thing, and he was in Florida with the Thielens on like their spring break kind of trip.
Yeah,
they
Disney World and everything.
Yeah. Because this is like March, right? So yeah, sure enough, that morning we basically put off all of our plans for the day, and we were going to have him on at 7. And we're in the studio. You know, we had a few drinks.
Are you guys like freaking the fuck out? Like, holy shit.
I was like kind of shaking.
We were
like,
all fairly nervous. And we had him on Zoom. He was obviously in Florida. So yeah, Julie was awesome. She set the whole thing up. 7 p.m. Cool. So like we're sitting there on Zoom, and we're all just kind of like quiet, like no one's talking, because it's like, this is fucking weird. Like this is crazy. We're sitting there in the Zoom, and sure enough, you just see, you know, on the screen, Kirk Cousins has joined the lobby. And I'm like, all right, Cam, let him in. Like this is fucking wild.
It was so weird.
And so sure enough, you know, he hits admit, and fucking Kirk's face is there, and he's
adjusting some things, like he's like looking.
Phone.
Can you guys hear me?
And we were
sure,
like, this is crazy. And Jake's wearing a shirt that says, if I die, I die. Because remember his whole COVID thing?
Yes.
My brother got me that shirt for Christmas, and I was wearing it. And he's like, can you guys hear me? We're like, yeah, we can hear you. And all of a sudden, he's like, oh, I love that shirt. Nice. Like, it was just great. We're like, this is incredible.
The craziest thing is,
wow.
So we're doing the whole song and dance that you guys are probably well aware of, where, you know, you have the guests, and you want to just shoot the shit for a little bit before you get into it.
Absolutely.
And we're kind of doing that, and he just like straight up goes, I've been wanting to meet you guys for a long time. He goes, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of your stuff. And we were just like, wait, really? And so he basically admitted to, like, he was calling out specific bits that we had done that he liked. And that's like a thing for you guys. Like,
cool.
you never know who's watching, right?
You never know.
Sometimes you just see numbers, but there's people behind the numbers, and sometimes those people are like, you know, fucking
That's insane.
athletes.
Kirk fucking Cousins.
It's
Kirk
crazy.
Cousins.
Well, because he mentioned on that show, on that podcast, that he looked back and he saw my sign, and he looked at Brian O'Neill, and they started laughing, and I'm like, damn it. I'm like, you guys were down by 10. I just distracted you. Like shit. Like that I remember that moment when they looked back too, like, and saw it. But also, like, he was mentioning how he had seen bits before that, and I think it was he heard rumblings in the locker room, I think in September, from people. He told us that, hey, there's some
players,
there's some
like, there's a guy out there who's
impersonating you. I'd be so like, what? And because he's not, you know, obviously he's not into social media. He doesn't, you know, put himself out there a lot. But I think he said that, we kind of asked him, like, well, where was the first video you'd seen? And he said it was at Thanksgiving with his family. And he said one of his cousins or his brothers or somebody's like, oh, you got to look at this video. And it was like when I was doing some impersonation of Kirk saying grace around Friendsgiving. We had a Friendsgiving.
We had a ton of people over at our house, and I was like, well, Kirk Cousins has to say grace. And like everyone got in a circle and held hands. We took videos, and he's like, dear God, we thank you for these blessings. And it was just,
dear God. Yeah. It was incredible, because I had told Kirk, I'm like, I didn't know how you're going to react to that. I thought you would have filed like a restraining order against me or something, or think I'm some sort of psychopath.
It could definitely go both ways.
Yeah, either
And
way.
it turns
depending on
out
the
he
person,
loves it.
you never know. So
And he said near the end of the interview we had with him, like, you know, don't hold back. Like, go as hard as you want at me, make fun of me. I'm like, that's great, because I don't know what kind of person he was, if he thought that was creepy or weird. And he turns out he loves it. And Wags actually asked the $1 million question, like, straight up, do you think Jake looks like you? Because a lot of people will say that's not Kirk, or even go to the extent like that does not look like him at all. And Kirk's like, well, I think so. Yeah, like, I think he does. So he answered the question, but
Yeah, no one else's opinion matters after that.
I think we posted
Absolutely.
that video in reply to people who say that's not Kirk Cousins. Or
Like,
that
well,
doesn't
he
look
fucking
like him.
thinks so, and then they just shut up.
Yeah, so it's
How can you argue?
Yeah.
If the man himself agrees.
Right.
literally
Right.
the man, the myth, the legend, Kirk Cousins himself
Yeah.
said it on air in our podcast. So we tried to. He's a busy guy. We've tried to work with him, and we've remained in contact with him and Julie since. And he's just a busy guy. So we're hoping to do more stuff with Kirk in the future.
Yeah.
But we were just fortunate enough to have him on our
He
on our
did
podcast.
when Quarterback got released.
Yeah.
He sent us a flyer of the show and autographed it, which was kind of cool.
Oh,
that
that's
was really
fucking
neat.
awesome.
We have it hanging up. And by the way, if you haven't seen that, I think a lot of people who probably disrespected Kirk or quarterbacks in
Yes.
general would watch that show on Netflix and have a whole new appreciation.
Oh, it's so good.
even
for their
Packer
job.
fans.
Like if you think your job is hard, be an NFL quarterback, especially one in a pressured market like Minnesota that never wins and that has demanding fans. Like people, I think a lot more people respect Kirk Cousins after that. But anyways, so yeah, like you get an inside look at him and Julie, and they're just the best people. Like they belong here. So
Well, and there's a little tip. I don't want to spoil a whole lot with that documentary if you haven't seen it, but like, after that first game last year against the Packers, Kirk went up there in his fashion in that plaid, like flannel, and people were saying, "Oh, he's got Kohl's Cash on him and everything." And I mean, flat. And then she's
Kohl's Cash
He's got the Kohl's Cash, and Julie said, in the documentary, apparently like he has the dad style and stuff, but like we're just normal people. We do shop at Kohl's and Target, like and Costco and all that. Like they're amazing people and they're just as great as we see them on TV and during games. But like that documentary, like just does a lot for Kirk.
Every now and then they'll go in and like a tweet. Something we post, they'll go
randomly,
ahead. Yeah.
At which
They don't go on it very often, so and they don't follow a ton of people, so it's just it's kind of like scary to think about. Like when they log into that app, like a lot of it is our stuff, and
That's what they'll see.
We post some heinous shit. So.
It's crazy because like going back to like 2022, the Kirk stuff started, like the impersonation stuff started in like 2020. In 2021, so 2021 was when Kirk started interacting with it, and I never thought in a million years that I would like to have met Kirk. I was saying like, oh, I'd like Kirk to like these impersonations and these bits. That'd be great. But I never thought he would remotely ever see it. I didn't think he was super active on social media, which he isn't. And I remember like we had him on the podcast, or no, this was before we had him on the podcast. It was that fall, right around when, he retweeted the I Am Kirk Cousins sign. And then I obviously did more impersonations. Like when we hired Kevin O'Connell, I'm like, I'm so happy to have Big Cock here and blah, 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 blah. And we had more videos. I impersonated him when I did like a side-by-side impersonation of when he was at the Pro Bowl that year. He was doing that weird thing with his hood and stuff. And I don't know if it was like on a random Sunday, but we noticed Kirk, we were looking at our likes. He liked like 5 or 6, 7 videos in a row.
So
his
they were
account
just binging it,
and I'm like, oh, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. But then all of a sudden I'm like, oh God, he saw that video. I'm talking about Big Cocker. I'm saying we're gonna kick this team's ass. Like he was going back to look at old impersonation
you're
videos.
just tarnishing his character as a good Christian man.
Yeah, and we could see that his account was liking it. So I know like Julie and Kirk were. That tells me they're both sitting there watching it that day. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Fucking wild, man.
So at the same time, I'm like, oh no, he watched that. Like, oh, holy shit. But I'm glad they enjoy it. Like I said, I'm glad he didn't.
That's a lot better than a
order.
C&D.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's like worst case scenario. They tell you like, hey, please stop this.
Yeah,
Or like,
do not
or
do
like
this
we're,
anymore.
we're gonna sue you.
Honestly, they could have went that
Fucking
distance.
sue you. We're rich. You're not. Like we will kill you.
We could just bring you to court until you run out of money.
Yeah,
like we
pretty
don't
much.
care.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I was impersonating Patrick Mahomes wouldn't be as upset, but his wife would just be. Brittany would be like, "We're suing those motherfuckers."
Yeah.
Like I could see her doing that. Maybe she'd be okay, but like I feel
She's
like she
gonna-
had that vibe.
Put some champagne on some people below her that are all cold.
And then,
shit.
well, but
She might scream in their face.
Exactly.
as payment though, Jackson's allowed to kiss you and grab you by your throat.
Yeah, no
Jeez
kidding.
Louise,
I wonder if Jackson's at the game tonight, actually.
Oh no,
Is he out of jail?
No, he might be sitting in a cell right now.
He might be, but then
He
again,
got
did he
charged
get
with,
bailed
like,
out though?
Probably.
Have enough money to deal with
Oh,
it.
I'm sure Patty got him out.
He's like locked in a closet, hidden from society for the rest of the world.
Oh, I'm sure Pat was like, "You're fucking out of here, man." Like,
he's on a little social media timeout.
He needs to be off of. I remember watching
Actually,
one of his TikToks. I'm like, what is
social
what?
media? He did take a social media timeout last year, and then he just went and sexually assaulted an owner of a bar. He needs to be on a society timeout.
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely. He took a lot of heat off himself. Like you said, he took that
He
break.
was good.
No
He
one
took
really
that
cared
break,
about him.
and then he did that after the Super Bowl, and it's like, buddy, you can't do anything right.
No.
You
He
can't do
fucked
that.
up.
Gotta feel bad for Pat.
Absolutely. I mean, the best quarterback of our generation. His brother's just sexually assaulting
Fucking
women,
jackass.
Yeah, dude, fucked.
being a jackass. On like when. So, who was the Washington Commanders player that they had the memorial for him at the game?
Dwayne Haskins.
So it was one of their
Taylor, the
Tillman?
safety.
Tillman?
Safety.
It was
an
so
older guy.
basically they had a memorial
Okay.
for him. Like they were it was his night. I think it was a running back. It was,
Okay.
He's a big deal for the Washington Redskins Commanders. At the
Yeah.
time, it was the Redskins.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say
And
it.
he
yeah.
did a TikTok dance inside of his memorial, and that is
Oh, no.
when he got
Jackson
all
did?
the hate. Yeah, that was
Why?
God.
You're not even affiliated with Washington at all.
It's crazy to me, man. That kid. I'm glad he got humbled real quick. He needed that shit.
He deserved it.
He's just such an every time. Like I mean, it gets embarrassing now. Obviously, like hyper embarrassing, rightfully so, with the sexual assault, and we saw the video and everything. But like before that, like he was getting shit and people were ripping. It got to Patrick. Like, what's wrong with your brother? And you see these stupid dances on TikTok, and he's like trying to almost steal the show when your brother is the guy actually on the field throwing touchdowns
Yeah.
and
Right.
lighting up defenses.
Dude, just enjoy the ride. There's no reason to.
He's like trying to steal this. Like my
It's
brother's in the
so-
spotlight.
it's-
I'm gonna try to steal
It's
the
so
spotlight.
easy to just behave. Just behave.
It's
Yeah,
not that
just
difficult.
pretty much just don't do that.
And that's
don't
why-
do exactly what you're doing.
And that's why we love Kirk Cousins, because he's so humbled and his family's so humbled. They don't have a Jackson Mahomes or anything, a Jackson Cousins. Like, holy shit.
The best thing about that documentary is, like a lot of players are going to the club and they're doing stuff, and then it cuts to Kirk after a game, and he's like, "That's a good fire, Cooper." He's like building a fire with his kid.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
This is just a guy who is a normal dude who just happens to have a job that is amplified in tens of millions of people. So like. And it was funny because after we interviewed Kirk, like PA, that was one of the times he texted me and goes, "I need you on the show today to talk about that." And he was like, "What? Like, how was your chemistry with Kirk?" And I was like, "I kid you not. If this guy was our age, living in the Twin Cities, I think he's weird enough that he'd be friends with us."
He would be, because we're all weird.
This is a guy, like, we jived with him so well. I'm like, this guy would be in our friend group because he's fucking goofy. And so are we. So, yeah. Just great family, great people.
That's hilarious.
We owe them a lot. I would say them
do.
and the Guerins, we owe them so much because, you go back to like credibility and just knowing the
Well,
right people.
yeah.
Those are two families who did not need to fuck with us.
In
No, they
moments
didn't.
you'll
It's
never
crazy.
forget.
Right,
Forever.
yeah.
I mean, you talked to Kirk fucking Cousins.
I know.
The best Minnesota Vikings quarterback of my entire life.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a hard
A
take,
lot
but
of
I'll
people would
stand
say,
by
I
it.
was going
No,
to say,
I-
people would scoff at you for saying that, which is
the
unbelievable.
Longest quarterback in Vikings history, or
Well,
one of
like
them.
it's since Tarkenton.
Yeah, like one of
I
them.
mean, or Culpepper. Like Culpepper, I think played like 5 or 6 seasons, and but
Kirk's on 6.
but the fact that an established NFL player like that took the time out of his his day
and his
to-
off season, he doesn't need to be talking about football in March when he's
And
with
to
his
actually
kids.
fuck with your shit. It's not like he just
Right.
came. It's not like he was doing a publicity run where he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll come on your show." Like he was just a fan. He's like, "Oh, these guys are cool. I'll just see what's up." And
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that
crazy.
like he like
No,
he's
no
like,
one, no
it's
one
so
is too
weird."
big for no one.
No
We're all
one.
just humans. Like it just
And that's the biggest thing about like that we learned, talking with a lot of athletes and musicians and even like actors and everything. It's like they're just human beings that want to be treated like human beings. They do not want to be treated like they're this upper echelon of society. Some do probably, somewhere in Hollywood, like
they're
some of
called
those
Jackson
assholes.
Mahomes.
They're
Yeah,
called
Jackson Mahomes,
They're also called
sure.
the NBA players. those
NBA
guys.
players also a bunch of babies as well. But yeah, but like a lot of these people are like, I think that's why they probably have liked us and will probably like shows like brands like your guys's and everything is because you're treating them like you're asking questions, you're trying to have experiences and talk to them like a human being rather than, oh, how cool is it to do this, or like you're trying to like sit below like they don't want to
They
feel
don't want
like
to be put on a pedestal.
or like they
Yeah.
feel like you're on a hierarchy, you know what I mean? So I think that's how it is.
Well, we've had a couple guys on the podcast that have hundreds of thousands of
Yeah.
followers. And in my head, before I meet them, it's always, I'm a big like
I know.
anticipation. I always blow it out of proportion. I'm so nervous. And then once they get here, it's like, fuck, you're so normal. What was I even thinking?
I know.
And like, so Wayne County Life, you ever heard of him? He's the Lions guy. He was big when Stafford first went to the Rams. He's like,
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
Stafford? You think we need
Yeah,
Stafford?
yes.
Yeah.
When he followed us, I lost my shit. And then
Yeah.
I was like, he takes his iPhone, he goes in his backyard and makes hilarious
Normal
videos.
dude, yeah.
He is no different than us. And it took me a while being in the game to understand, like, social media guys on social media are just guys that are willing to post it and do it. It could be anybody.
Exactly. In this
Right.
day and age, like that, with the power of technology, like anybody, I tell people all the time that like I'm very humbled for people to recognize us, and it's great. But I tell people like I'm just posting dumb stuff. We're just posting dumb stuff on the internet. Like that's why you like it, because I feel like we doing what you're doing. We're just posting it.
Yeah.
And driving a brand behind it.
You can
We're
you can relate to it.
We're not any different from you, honestly. Like we just,
Well, that's the thing is we get a lot of comments of like, it's our friend group would be so funny if we just recorded it and posted it, and
Right.
it's like, yeah, that's exactly what we did. Like we just took a friend group and started recording
There's just
it.
that extra
crazy.
drive that I tell people that we tell people this, that people are always saying, well, I want to start a podcast. There's a lot more than just sitting down with some mics and recording. You do have to have that drive to edit, post constantly, daily, and just try to keep that brand up, or else it's going to die and you're going to lose interest as well. But yeah, the premise of it, is easy. You can sit down and have a conversation, but there's that little extra drive you need with it to
absolutely.
post and try to create engagement, create a brand, movement.
I mean there's got to be at least 1 million pages on YouTube of podcast pages that have less than 100 followers.
Right.
They started the page, they're like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yep, and they
Did 2, 3, 4 episodes, got no views, and they're like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah,
I think
we dealt with
there's
that,
a stat out there that the average episode for a podcast is like 6. So if you take all the podcasts in the world,
Damn.
the ones that stopped, the ones that went for a couple of years, the ones that have been going for decades, the average is like 6, which just shows how many people have quit.
At like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
and
nuts.
And the thing is, we kept doing, like, I'm going to tell you, like, the Minnesota Rundown, which is now dead, rest in peace. It was our original podcast.
Fucking awful show.
Awful
show.
When we came up with It's a Bit, I tried running it as the host after, but we realized, like, I'm doing this another night of the week, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to do. But, like, at one point, though, like, even with It's a Bit early on, it was like 10 listeners, 15 listeners.
Pretty bad, too, honestly, early
15
on.
downloads, and
Yeah.
but we just enjoyed doing it because we enjoyed just coming together and talking about
Yeah.
stupid shit and having a good time. And we realized the potential of it. We're like, no, we're just going to keep going, and eventually it's just escalated into 500 to 1,000 monthly listeners, which is what we average, I would say. So, or per episode. So it's just sticking with it and just having fun with it. A lot of these people, I think, come into it with the ambition of being like, oh, we're going to be like Joe Rogan and
Yeah.
we're going to talk about crazy shit and like we're going to get a bunch of listeners right away. It's like eventually maybe you might distinguish yourself from other shows, but like if you're coming into it solely for the money, capital, or viewership, you're going to die off very quickly.
Yeah.
Like,
It's gonna hurt. You're gonna get humbled real quick.
And that's part of it. Like we want to eventually make revenue and income to make a living off of it, but it's not like the sole driver of it.
Yeah.
It's the content and entertainment of it. But like if that's your sole reason to do it, you're not going to last at all.
Yeah, you got to do it because you love it. I've been
that's the
a
first
I've been a
reason.
sole believer of if you're an entrepreneur, your first like love or desire should not be money, or you're not going to make it, because
Right.
you should do what you do because you love it. Yeah, the money will come, but like that shouldn't be why you do it.
It's the bonus.
Right.
it is.
It's the fact. Well, what gets me is I want to do something in life that has a purpose and makes people happy. Like I think Robin Williams said it the best. Like he's like, if I can just bring a smile to one person's face, that's my life's goal and everything. And that's what I remember hearing that, and I've always, obviously like Robin Williams, but like that's kind of what I want to do. I want to impact somebody's life in a positive way, just like how I've seen comedians growing up where they make me laugh, or any sort of entertainment, music, sports. So it brings joy to me. And it can be a shitty world.
Yeah.
So if ultimately, like, so it's so humbling when people come up to us and say they recognize us and I love this content. It's not about like, oh yeah, you know who I am. It's like, oh, like, thank you for the support. I'm glad, like, when someone says like, I laughed at that, I laughed at this, and it's fucking awesome when I hear that shit. That's awesome.
100%. I mean, I can think of multiple times where I was like, I don't even know why we do this anymore. Like, I get in a bad mindset, and all it takes is one person at the bar to be like, I saw your guys' skit. That shit was so fucking funny, and I'm back.
Jack, you can probably attest to this, but there are weeks where, like, you know, you feel like you're just overwhelmed with work and everything. You're like, you don't want to like quit or anything, but you're just like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. Like, why am I doing this? Like, there's people that are having kids and a dog, and they're not doing anything in their evenings. And, but then you hear that, but then that happens, and you're like, you know, but you feel like this is the purpose.
I think the other fun thing that keeps me going is, and you guys can probably attest to this too, like, you never know what's around the corner. Yeah. It's that like waiting game of what's next. Like, when the Kirk thing happened, we had no idea that was coming, and it just came. And like, once that happens a few times, you become addicted, and you're like, okay, the harder I work, the more those fun, exciting viral moments come that create new connections, experiences, and whatever. Like, so the more you do it, the more you just get addicted to that, like, what's around the corner. Like, there's always something that you would have thought was going to happen that's waiting. You just got to keep going. And for those weeks that are hard, especially during COVID, when we're talking about Joe Buck announcing porn and Tiger King and strip club hot dogs at Deja Vu when you have to wear a mask, that's a whole different. Like, if you keep going at it, like, something's gonna happen that makes you go, holy shit, it was all worth it. So that feeling becomes addicting of like, what's next? And sometimes months go by and the next never comes, but it comes eventually, and then it ropes you right back in. So, like you said, you get through that cycle long enough, and then you just don't even care during the hard times. You're like, it's gonna get better.
It is what it is. You know, it's so strange because there's some times where it's like periods of time where, you know, we got a group chat internally that like every day we'll be just like updating, like, oh, that new video, it's at 1 million views, it's at 2 million views, it's at 3 million views, and then the next time it's like, oh, that video broke 1,000. That's sweet.
Yeah. Or like, we
like
work
the highs and lows. There's feast or famine.
Yeah. There's those videos that we make where we put so much brainstorming into it. We plan it out. We record it. Someone edits it for 10 hours. We put it online, and it's like 8 views. And then there's the videos where you record, you know, someone drunk at a game saying something, and you post that, and it's like 2 million views, and you're like, this shit doesn't make sense, but it's fucking addicting.
Legitimately experienced that last Saturday. You filmed me doing
last Thursday.
A week from tonight, as we're recording this, fake fan. I'm in the Saturday mindset already with college football. But no, the Gopher game last Thursday, like, you know, I was dressed in the Mike Hawk kind of get up, and you film me. You're like, hey, you text me like you should do like a penalty call.
Stand up and call
on the
a penalty.
And like, it's the dumbest fucking video. Like, I'm just standing up, like, acting up. You can't hear me. You can just like, you can hear everyone laughing behind the camera, and I'm like acting like I'm doing a holding call on the offense, you know, but it's in front of the crowd and everything. You can see my dad in the video and everything.
Just clearly disappointed
but like,
in his son.
It's a funny video. I'm like, I know, like, okay, our followers are gonna like this. Like, this is funny. Like, I like doing that shit. But it ends up being one of the most successful videos on Instagram. Like 35,000 likes.
It's got like 1 million views on Facebook.
It doesn't make any sense.
And it's a ton of old people being like, who the fuck hires an onside kicking coach?
Yeah. What did it say on there? It said like the onside kicking coach.
And by the way, we were tailgating really early in the day, and
it was brutal.
I barely even remember posting it, to be honest. And the caption says, oops, I got to scroll down. It is Gophers onside kicking coach seen drunk in the upper deck. And it's like, it's the emoji.
Great caption.
It's the emoji where the chick is like slapping her face. So like, all these hardcore Gopher fans are commenting, this is why we can't win, because we're spending money on onside kicking coaches. They're not even on the field. They're drinking beers with the students. Like, people are getting fucking offended over it.
The fact that people believe that is just, it's like the Kirk stuff. That's not Kirk, or like the onside, but like there was some guy like that could be any Rube and 72,000 people.
How do you know that guy's on the coaching staff?
Coaches belong on press boxes in the sideline. The people watch us and they're infuriated about it.
The worst part about it was that, like, if I don't know if you guys, are you guys on Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So like if your video breaks enough interaction, like eventually it gets really toxic.
Yep.
Especially with Facebook, because you start hitting some of these older people who don't quite get
100%.
younger media and jokes and culture. Like they think everything that someone posts online is truth. So like we post that video, and like as the cameraman, I started catching strays. Like Jake got all the hate for being this fake coach and impersonating a coach, and then someone's like, "Who's the 5-year-old with Down syndrome laughing during the video?" And I'm like, "I'm just taking the video. Like, how am I getting hate now?" Someone else said like, "Who was the moron that posted this? That guy is fucking stupid." And I'm like, okay. I'm just the guy who took the video. I should not be the one getting all the shit.
They're like
right
fucking
now.
snitch, just calling him out.
Yeah. Someone called me a snitch. They were like, the guy who said this is a snitch because this guy is gonna lose his job now. And I'm like, it's a joke, man.
The fact that it creates all this hysteria and comments, and people are wasting their time thinking about this in a very serious way is kind of concerning.
As a society,
As
it's
a
very
society,
concerning.
it's like it's clearly, guys, this is clearly like a joke. Like, I don't know what you're not missing here, but it's so funny, and like we know that now that people are gonna get pissed about it, so we just keep going. And I just love the people that say like, stop the bit, end the bit.
The hate comments, we found out the hard way. Hate comments will drive a video. Like,
I love it.
Cody, he didn't do the research or something. I don't even know how it went, but basically he said Diet Coke has the same amount of caffeine as Red Bull.
I never said the same, but just similar.
And then that's not true at all.
It's
for
not
the
even
record.
close. I don't know where
And
I heard
he
this. I heard
posts
this.
the
Someone
clip.
told me this.
Oh yeah, because Red Bull probably has like 10 times as much caffeine.
Oh,
right?
it's way more.
Not, it's not too much more.
It's
Red Bull
a
is
lot
not
more.
that much
Yeah.
caffeine.
They're both bad for your liver. I know that.
but Diet Coke is not close.
yeah,
He posts the clip, and holy fuck, did it
Comments
go
rip me
wild.
apart.
the nutrition comment section came after you.
Pour a riff in the
100%.
internet.
This guy's a fucking jackass. There's a lot of that shit.
over fucking caffeine and Diet Coke, and oh my gosh, dude,
Yeah,
the
it was
internet's
just like,
crazy.
and it was funny because there was a lot of local people too that would comment.
Oh, no.
Like Pine City people.
Yeah, I was like,
oh,
damn,
no.
you gotta I gotta see you again at some point, and we gotta talk about this obviously because this is like you're ripping me apart in the comment section.
You're gonna run into him at the what's the bar that we parked by?
Froggies.
The Froggies.
Oh, fucking
Froggies.
right.
Is that a bar?
Hey, you
That's
guys,
a good thing.
Froggies.
you guys have to come here on a Friday.
Oh yeah, we're
We're
down.
gonna let it fucking rip, and we're gonna walk our asses over to
no, we're
Friday.
gonna
Sounds good.
hop on into Frog.
What
I'm
was
not
that
gonna lie,
place? The
that-
garage?
Yeah.
Oh, the garage.
got
It's
a
got a
roof.
Looks fun.
rooftop, baby.
I saw the rooftop.
It's like Aldean's, just
Yeah.
way less cool.
We're gonna go to the garage, then we're gonna do some more bar hopping, and the night at Froggies, and we're gonna have a very productive conversation about the caffeine content in Diet Coke and Red Bull with some locals.
Based on that old Budweiser sign, someone's gonna challenge us to a bar fight at
Yes,
some point.
absolutely. Yeah, it's guaranteed.
And it's
Yeah.
not even out of
It's
anger.
guaranteed.
It's just
part of the checklist.
It's
a
a way of
tradition.
life. It has to happen.
Also, there's a lot of locals, so that's the primary clientele is just the local people. So they're gonna know you're from out of town, and you're
Oh,
gonna
I
be
know
challenged
those.
to a
Yeah,
fucking
really
stairs.
stairs.
quick. Really
Get the
quick.
stairs.
So we've been drinking out in some small towns in Minnesota over the years. Do you guys refer to us as Cityots?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
If
we'll
you're
got
in
that.
Plymouth,
Oh, yeah.
I would definitely consider you guys idiots. Like,
Oh,
for
well,
sure.
yeah, no.
Like just in general, like people that live in Plymouth. Yeah, of course.
We're Minneapolis suburbs. We're as Cityots as it get. I'm moving to St. Paul in November. I'll be like this.
You're
central
literally in
city.
downtown St. Paul. You're
People
you
are
in
gonna
the
people
hub
are
of
gonna
idiots.
people are gonna be like, why isn't your hair blue yet? Like, oh,
Well, how have you not owned like an entire block of St. Paul yet?
right? Good question.
It's all true. No. But no, I don't blame the hate because like we have some dumbasses down in the cities that have no idea
Oh,
what
and
they're doing.
we're two of them too. Like
yeah.
we come up to some of these rural areas and we probably look like
So
assholes.
that's funny that you bring that up because Cody and I we were sitting in the seat in the chairs and we're like, Cody's like, what do you think they drive? I'm like, I don't know, they're city guys, so probably a car. He's like, I feel like they drive an older pickup, not too old, but not brand new. Like he fucking killed it. dude.
Nailed it. Chevy.
And then when you guys pulled up, we run up to the window. We're like, what are they in? What are they in?
I said 2015 to 2017.
It's a 2015 Chevrolet Colorado. It's a 2015 Chevrolet Colorado, and you drive like a brand new Ford.
I drive like a brand new Ford, but before then, I drove a 2007 Ford Fusion that's transmission would just decide to quit.
I did drive a 2006 Nissan Altima before my truck, so
you nailed that. You nailed that.
That's crazy.
I'm also, I used to sell cars, so I sold a lot of.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of car guys.
He just knows what people want.
I just feel like the Chevrolet Colorado is kind of like we're not full on City-its, but we're like transition between like
You're
middle of the road.
4-wheel drive. It's got a big cargo area.
Z7-1?
I see it.
Good gas mileage, but can also haul a boat. So
It hauls ass. I'll tell you that.
It does.
I play into the whole thing. So I drive the Ford F-150, and I'm friends with plenty of people who are in more rural areas, and they always give me shit about it. They're like, "What are you towing with blah blah blah?" I'm like, guys, this thing holds my golf clubs so well. Do you know how many Target bags I can fit in my extended cab? I'm like, this truck is fantastic.
I heard those Fords got those heated tailgates so that your hands can stay warm when you're waiting for a ride.
Yeah, exactly. I actually bought that truck pretty much for just tailgating. So I'm always the first to admit that I am a City-it in like every capacity ever. So.
Hey, that's okay. We're halfway there. We just live in the right area.
Right.
You
I
guys
am by no, dude. I can't fix anything. I have to pay to get my brake pads done,
Listen,
dude. I'm a City-it.
I would say
I go to my dad.
You
for
guys,
that,
you
too,
guys are
like-
in like tweener territory. Like you're not in like
transition.
bumfuck nowhere, but you're not in the cities.
Absolutely.
You're kind of like St. Cloud. St. Cloud is like tweener area. Like
you're in like purgatory.
Yeah.
Of City.
We're an hour from St.
outdoors.
Paul, an hour from Duluth. You know,
Yep.
we're right in there.
right.
Less crime here.
You get
but-
north of
wow,
Duluth,
it's
then
less
shit
crime.
starts getting wild.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're kind of like less from Minneapolis, St. Paul, crazy down to here, maybe like Pine City, a little less crazy. Backed up to Duluth, it gets a little more.
Oh, if there's even,
City-it-like.
if somebody even robs a car in Pine City,
It's
everybody
news.
knows.
Yeah,
Like,
and they
they're-
probably know who did it.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's just commenting names on the Facebook post.
It's this guy. It's this guy.
Tagging
Picture,
people.
picture,
It's
picture,
like,
picture.
it's like I knew John, who worked the night shift at Holiday, was going to get into crime eventually.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Exactly.
The guy who actually committed just goes in the comment thread. Yeah, guys, it was me. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
like everybody
I'm
just
turning
knows.
myself in
I'll
right
do
now.
better.
Just
You know
too
what?
nice.
You know what? Vodka Red Bulls on me at what's it called? Froggies. Yeah.
Froggies.
Over at
Yeah.
Froggy's.
Show up
We
between.
got boys. We gotta bring you there next time. That you're in
Absolutely.
Oh,
town.
yeah, I'd love to go
I
to
already
Froggy's.
tapped this, so this is empty.
Thanks
but-
for coming
well,
on.
whatever.
Well, it's been a blast.
We appreciate
Yeah, boy,
it.
before we let you go, I just, so this is going to come out, did you say this Tuesday or the following?
One of the two.
So it's going to come out soon.
whatever.
We're
It'll come out on a
just
Tuesday.
hitting the beginning of Viking season. As the 10K Sports guys, we have to get your prediction for the Viking season.
Whew.
Just looking for a record.
Game by game. No, I'm not doing that shit. There's too many podcasts. So I'm going to go week
Let's start
one.
with the first
And then
quarter
week
on
two,
Sunday.
I think, the first minute of the first quarter, Kirk Cousins touchdown. No, I honestly think realistically, I was sitting between 10-7, 11-6. I think they're going to go 11-6. I think that's
11-6.
realistic. I think some of those games that were really close last year, I think it's going to kind of hit home a little bit more. They're not going to pull off as many, but I think they're going to go 11-6 with a improved defense. I mean, they can't get any worse defensively. They were bottom 3 in every category.
Seriously.
So they can only get a little better with Brian Flores. So and hopefully not make not face Daniel Jones in the playoffs and make him look like fucking Joe Montana, Michael Vick hybrid, which I always said. So I think they're going to go 11-6. They're going to pull off 11 wins, make the playoffs, and we'll see what happens from there. I don't know.
Good pick.
Yeah.
I'm more 10-7, maybe even 9-8. I still think they win the division. I think the division is gonna be tight.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I mean, the Lions are. We're recording this during the Lions Chiefs game opening night, and they're putting up a fight right now.
Dude, the
against
Lions
Chiefs.
impressed the fuck out of me.
I know,
But it's always the first week, though.
Right,
so
right,
we'll see.
right. And the Chiefs have nothing to prove right now, so it's totally fine. But I think there's going to be like maybe 2 of those games that we look back on and we're like, the fact that we lost against blah blah blah. This way,
Yeah.
they're going to drop a couple stinkers, but I think based on how strong the schedule is, there's going to be a few games where we're like, because we were at the Buffalo game last year and we were like, how the fuck did the Vikings win that game?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a few more of those magical games too, but it's going to all even out, and the Vikings will probably lose in the first round of the playoffs.
So watch
All
out,
right.
though, Kirk.
So it's not the year. It's not the year, but
Not
we're
quite.
hopeful.
You build up
just
you
don't-
build up that defense.
I don't know. I've always thought about this. Like the year that a Minnesota team wins a championship, And as unrealistic as it sounds for the Vikings to win a Super Bowl, it's going to happen when we absolutely least expect it.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's going to feel like that no matter what, because we haven't won shit in so many years. Like the Twins, like I don't think they're going to do shit. That's a whole other conversation. But I don't to say that this isn't the year is like a yearly thing, you know. Like but I'm hoping for the best, but I just think
Hope for the best, expect the worst.
I'm just hoping they can get into the playoff at 11-6. I honestly think they're going to go 11-6 or around there. They're going to make the playoffs, and I think they can win a game. I think they can be better than fucking Ed Donatel and just like
can't cover the spread.
Well,
Donatel,
what did he say? Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No, this is broke, bro.
It was bend don't break, which was
this shit's more than bent.
Pete. It's like PTSD. And then what did he say going into the playoff game? He basically admitted to like giving up.
Yeah, he
said something really dumb, like, "Well, we haven't changed anything, but like."
He said something along the lines. We're not changing anything.
He basically said like we're gonna play with more heart. It's like, dude,
we're not changing anything. We don't feel like anything needs to be changed. Blah 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 blah. It's
better
like, okay,
answer
bro.
than that.
Yeah, that wasn't confident at all. I did say before the playoff game, like I was excited. Obviously, we were at Tom's Watch Bar in Minneapolis before the game, and I think I don't even fully remember saying it, but we had a few drinks and everything, and I think we were cheersing to we were having a cheers for the Vikings in the playoffs, and I took a sip, and I'm like, we're gonna lose this game. and I kind of didn't remember saying it. They're like, what did you just say? Like what?
Well, it's because like everyone was like drinking, and then it's just dead silent. And you hear, "We're not gonna win today."
And we're not gonna win today. I don't know. And I remember you guys were saying that. I don't even really remember like fully saying it consciously. I think it just came out of my mouth, and I'm like, "We're not gonna win." And everybody's like, "What? What the fuck are you doing? What are you saying?" I'm like, "What did I say?"
Yeah.
Like, I honestly didn't remember. I'm like, "You just said we're not gonna win," and I'm like, "Oh, like maybe."
Well, you were right.
I was very. So I walked into that game.
Dude, you didn't knock on wood.
True. It was brutal. So we'll see. I'm hoping they can go 11-6, stroll into the playoffs, and just see what happens.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks, boys. We really appreciate you making the trip all the way here on a Thursday.
All the way from the city.
It's the new Friday.
City boy.
Couple of idiots just hanging out in Pine City for the night. We appreciate you guys having us. No, you guys have an awesome studio, an awesome setup.
Thank you.
We love a lot of the clips you guys post. You're along the same lines as us, just normal dudes just yucking it up, and
Absolutely.
it's always great to talk to
do it again.
like-minded fellas like you.
Thanks,
Definitely
boys.
do it again. We'll make a trip up to not Twisted Bitch. That's actually I was just gonna at that sticker.
That's the sponsor, the Twisted
good
Bitch.
sponsor.
That could be a bar too, where
Twisted Bitch.
Well, now that on the
I feel
show
like
here,
that
but
belong in Nashville.
they just legalized weed, so like you could have a bar where you get a ton of women drunk and high, and
twisted.
you become a twisted bitch.
I like that.
Twisted
Good
Bitch.
idea.
The bar market here is ripe for disruption.
I was
gonna
gonna say,
Froggy's
if
is the best bar name.
if Froggy's ever puts that for sale, I want you guys to open the Twisted Bitch, and you need to sell
Twisted fucking bitch.
pot and
You're onto
McGoldens in
something.
there and just see what happens.
You're on to something, dear.
We can talk business. We're business guys.
All right. We'll talk about this off camera.
Yes.
Yeah.
See you guys.